welcome. I think making his debut on the podcast, we have Sweaty Clarence. So, Sweaty, first and foremost, is I gotta thank you for your fabulous patience while you waited for us to do this. Waited for me to wade through my technical issues. So, welcome, Sweaty.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to. I think I've been on here once before, maybe when I was still on French class, but yeah,
Yo,
I'm here now.
French class. Well, that's a blast from the past, 2 and a bit years
Shout out.
ago. That's amazing. Okay, well, first, I mean, we had a little interview with you on Saturday after your semi-final win, your upper bracket win on Saturday, and that was pretty cool. But now you are a champion, and well, first let's just go through. We're now almost 24 hours later. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm feeling the adrenaline's gone down a bit now. When we won, it was crazy. It felt really good. Struggled to sleep a bit last night. Uh, so I'm feeling a bit tired now, but yeah, I'm just happy we won. It was a big win. We needed that one. So yeah.
And I mean, when we spoke to you on Saturday, you were feeling very confident about things, and then, but we asked to die for in the post grand final interview. As a caster, you get a sense of how series are going, and I know we were all thinking after the first two games. It was like, oh, this is not feeling like Pioneer's day. And then you took game 3, and it was like, okay. Then you lost the other game, and it just didn't feel like it was going to come out for you. And it would be amazing if you kind of just took us through the game 7, and at what point you felt it started to turn around. And was there a point where you thought, okay, well, we've cooked this, it's not happening?
So I mean, we were confident going to the series. Like we built like a game plan, just in general, and we know like if we stick to that game plan, no one should be beating us. And I mean, the first game we played against them, it was close. I think we had most of the pressure that game, but they won in overtime, and that, I mean, it sucked, but it's just one game. And then the second game, we were like nowhere in second game. And then we like stopped a bit, like took some time to chat and like just to like regain. And yeah, third game went easy, like how it should be going, we think. And yeah, so now it's 2-1, and then they get another game. And then yeah, now then the timeout happened, we spoke, and yeah, we basically just locked in, I guess. And just we had to just remind ourselves of what we needed to do. But I mean, we always knew we should be winning that series. Uh, like even though Lewis is on high ping, we should still be winning that series. And yeah, I think after the timeout, things changed and we got the momentum, and then we won game 7.
All right. Well,
I gotta say, I just gotta say, it was an absolutely wild trip for us because, we were all sitting in the lobby listening and watching the game, and Five Fears took a strong lead in the beginning. We were like, shit, well, this is going to be a rough one. It's not going to be a 2-horse race. It's like a 1-horse race, but good for the content. And then each game that you guys won on the comeback, all the way through into game 7, you guys just felt stronger and more confident as it went on. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that translated, but do you feel like you were gaining confidence as the game went on?
Yeah, definitely. Like, because I mean, us as a team, we all think that we are the best individually in this region, and I mean, sometimes you just have to remind yourself about that, and then picking up a win here or there, or like winning a game without like a goal being scored against you, that obviously builds the confidence, and then I think momentum is a big thing in this game, and if you have the momentum, like things are going good for you. So yeah.
And then, okay, well, Rhino, I don't know if you had a chance to watch back the grand final or see any of
I did.
it. So, was there, because in my mind, I have a very specific moment in my mind where I think was a turning point for me for Pioneers. And Rhino, I don't know if anything stood out to you in terms of a particular moment, but if not, your general thought of of how it went over the course of those 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, people will be talking about this for a very long time as one of the best finals of an Open that SSA maybe has ever seen. And that is credit to our guest on the panel, of course, as well as all of his teammates and everyone on 5 Fears as well. A 7-game series is so much fun to watch all the time, and especially when the pendulum swings at such a rate as it did in that series. I feel it moved towards 5 Fears to start with. They looked like they were getting their feet under them. Pioneers, they punched back and were able to get back in there. 5 Fears were able to bring out another game victory, and they're on series point, and you're like, well, we've very rarely seen this kind of lead turn around in a grand final. And then, I mean, it just completely switched. And I think it was probably after that game 4 is I mean, it's easy to say that that's the moment where the game turned on its head, right? But it was in that game 4. It was that first goal that Pioneers scored where all of a sudden I started to be a little bit like, oh, that was really quite something, and 5 Fears are going to be a little bit concerned now. So for me personally, I think it was that moment, that first goal going in game 4. I really thought there was a changing of the tide. Sorry, game 5, I should say, game 5, because game 4 was won by 1 Fears. I'm saying game 5.
Yes,
that first goal was all of a sudden there was a little spark, I thought.
Sweaty, for you, was there a moment? And then I've clipped a moment I thought it all changed. But was there a moment? Was there a moment for you, Sweaty?
So I mean, I thought the moment was when we won game 3. I think we won game 3 like 3-0, and that felt good. Like, it just kind of reassured us. But then we lost game 4, so maybe I was wrong. But yeah, it had to have been game 5, like, where we scored a nice goal, and it kind of gave us our confidence back, and like everyone got a bit hype, and yeah, we started to believe again. I mean, we always believed, but yeah, it actually it showed.
So after Brobia, did you want to go?
Yeah, I did. And just linking onto the self-belief and things like that you were just mentioning, I was reading on Twitter because Greybeard put out a post that he's going to be interviewing your lovely self this evening, and there were a couple of people who raised some valid questions, which I think would be pretty insightful for you to answer. And the first one is that we postulate on this one all the time, but do you think that the gap between, say, the top and the rest of the region is closing in, or do you think it's just as far as it's ever been?
I don't know. I feel like us and 5 Fears are definitely like ahead of the rest. A fair bit at the moment. I think the team of Jeff, Ravi, and Stake, like, as they gain more experience, they'll be better, and I think a thing for them now is, at the moment, is they've got quite a bit of nerves because they're inexperienced, which is understandable. But I think once they start to mature, and then they have like Stake as like a veteran, as you could say, on their team to kind of guide them, I think they could, towards the end of the season, they could start, like, they could maybe take a series, not against us, obviously, but maybe 5 Fears. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna show you my moment, which so this is how I saw it. Is 5 Fears taking those first 2 games, it just felt like it was gonna get away, and game 3 you guys had to win, and you did. So I thought, okay, great, you're back. And then 5 Fears take game 4. They're now on series point, with you guys on a single game going into Neo Tokyo, and you had taken the time out You won the game where you took the timeout, which was great, but then lost after that. Then going into Neo Tokyo.
No, we actually didn't. We only took the timeout when we were 3-1 down.
That's what
I believe. I think you said after game 3. Or game 2. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't take it after game. Okay.
No.
Well, then it must have been this game. Then you took the timeout going into Neo Tokyo.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, good. Well, that makes it even clearer for me, because then this was the big moment, and we're gonna lose your face for a second, because I wanna show the clip of what happened, and this for me was the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was gross.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the moment.
that was a moment, definitely, indeed, and it's one of the sweatiest goals I've seen in a while. So, and you were beating out Snowy on defense there as well, so you can't even discredit the opposition. That was just a quality goal.
Thank you.
And from that moment, you guys never looked back. I mean, it was just obviously not. You won that game, and then went on to win on Champions Field. So it was a banger of a banger. And looking back, that for me was the moment. So, talk us through the double tap there. I don't know if you can even remember it, but I mean, with all the adrenaline coursing through, but as much as you remember it, tell us about the moment.
Yeah, I think like right before that, I messed up or something in defense, and then I was just at the mid boost somehow, and then the ball just landed in my lap, and I saw only Snowy was back, and then yeah, I did my thing, I guess.
You did your thing indeed. Okay, well let's go ask some other questions now. And Bromeo did mention that tweet that I put out, and there are a couple of questions from there that we will come back to. But first, Lewis P. I remember Lewis from I think it was either RSC or Uni Rocketeers, going back to like 2021 there or thereabouts. And he was doing, I'm pretty sure it was Uni Rocketeers, and he was just doing great. And then it was amazing to then see him in Europe, and then even more amazing to see that he's sort of coming into the equation in SSA. So I don't know how involved you and To Die For were in getting Lewis into the roster, or if that was something handled by Pioneers. But how did that come about with the two of you locking in with Lewis?
Yeah, so myself and David, we decided we were going to go find a third, like an EU import third, at the end of last season. When we saw the rule change, and I mean, we asked pretty much everyone like that made main event in EU, because we weren't sure who would actually want to move to SSA and to compete here. And I mean, there was a couple people that were like interested, but we ended up with Lewis. He was definitely the best, or the standout player that we had the pick from, and yeah, I mean, it shows. He's an insane player. Like, we just won with him on high ping. Like, I can't wait for him to be on low ping.
And how long had you guys started? How long before the start of this open were you guys teaming and scrimming and playing together and working things out? Was there a good amount of lead up time?
I think, I don't know, maybe a little over a month. We were like scrimming SSA teams. Like there was rumors going around for a long time that we were gonna team with Lewis. And that's because we were scrimming with him. So I think we were practicing with him for quite a while. And then maybe like a week into scrimming with him, we found Lola, and yeah, we really liked the way he coached and like his leadership. And so we asked Pioneers if they would, or if if we could try get Lawless coach, and they were more than happy to bring him on.
I want to circle back to that question, but I'm going to come back to Lawler. I've got two Lewis P questions related, and then I want to let Bromeo and Rhino go. So because I know they're stacking up the questions there. So the first question is comms in terms of, because I have no doubt that you and To Die For suck at Spanish. So Lewis P's English, is it good enough that you have excellent comms? And then secondly, when is he coming to SSA, and is he going to Slummies or is he going to Cape Town?
So he's definitely not coming to East London, that's for sure. I mean, it's an option, but I told him he should rather go to Cape Town. But yeah, regarding the comms, he lived in England for a while because he played for an org, one of the English orgs. And so he's like got really good English, so we all common English, and he next year he'll be playing all the regionals from South Africa. And like one of the reasons he didn't come for this regional was, I mean, because he'd have to make extra flights, but then also there's like a 90-day like Spanish rule, yeah, that you only allowed 90 days within like 180 days or something. So, and we didn't want him just to fly down for a week and then leave. So
Yes.
he'll be like permanently staying in South Africa in Cape Town next year.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
All right, Rhino, Bromeo, over to you.
Rhino, you go first.
I go first. All right. Well, we've talked about it a little bit already, Sweaty, and obviously we're focusing on Pioneers as a team, but I also want to have a little look at the region as a whole, because it's been a big discussion point right now. Is this a top 2 region? Is this a 3-team region? Is this a 5-team region? I would very much like you to kind of give your thoughts on teams like Looking for Organization. You've already talked about Cosmico and Deathcloud especially, because those 3 teams seem to be the teams that are closest to being able to topple the giants, if you like to put it that way. So can you just give some thoughts on those 3 teams and kind of where you see them for the season?
Yeah, so I mean, I already spoke about Cosmico a bit. Like, if they mature a bit, they can be good. Werty's team, I don't know. It's a bit of an interesting one because they obviously have the experience, like Werty, Eli, and Torres, but Torres isn't going to be, or at least I haven't heard anything. Like, he's not going to be playing on low ping. He's not coming to South Africa, so that's a pretty big disadvantage. So I kind of see Cosmico like being the clear third at the start of next year, and then I think like Deathcloud, they could be good. Like, we've scrimmed them a few times, and they actually played really well in scrims the one time, so they definitely have a high peak. But I think it's also the same with them. Like, they're young, the nerves, but with experience, like, that'll just go away eventually. Yeah.
I completely agree with that one. And I've got a question that's going to tack on right onto that. Is that you've got a whole bunch of upcoming teams. Every single one of them practically has a Spanish third or an import third. How do you think the dynamics of having new, fresh players in each team, how has that affected the scene? Has it changed the play style a bit? Has it changed the environment? What's it like competing like this now, in just what you've experienced in this first main event?
Yeah. So I think the 2/3 rule is probably better than if there was no imports allowed in the region. I think the 2/3 rule is definitely helping the region improve. Like, just letting like SSA players play against good EU players. And because especially with teaming with Lewis and like scrimming against players like Tecos and Torres, it's kind of like you get to practice new things, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but you're playing against players better than you, and I can just feel myself like improving every time I scrim them. and I'm sure that's what the rest of the region is feeling as well.
And then I want to circle back to the Lawler. I'm very interested in what you had to say about Lawler, because I just assumed that Pioneers had sourced Lawler, had reached out to him or whatever, and I'm fascinated to hear that it was you guys who suggest. How did you even come across Lawler as a coach? I mean, most of us know him as a content creator, and certainly an analytical brain about the game, but. A, how did you think of Lawler? B, who reached out to him and started that conversation?
Yeah, so during the off season, he kind of actually reached out to myself and David, because he saw one of our tweets saying that we were looking for an import third, and he was like trying to help us find a third as well. And then we got to talking with him, and like we actually had a replay session with him, and we really liked what he had to say in the replay session with us. And I mean, we were kind of just locked on trying to get Lawler after that replay session.
And that's such an amazing pickup. I mean, just because he's just not a person you would have thought of as a coach, and it's fantastic, and I'm so glad it's working out, and he seemed really stoked and pumped to be with you guys. And was he in comms with you yesterday during that grand final? Was he giving you the pep talk when it was needed?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely in comms with us yesterday. I was even screen sharing, so he was basically watching my perspective throughout the whole of yesterday. And I mean, yeah, he gave us a good pep talk, and yeah, things just turned around. Just reminded us what we needed to do, and that it's actually quite simple what we needed to do. And yeah, it helped us a lot because, as I said, he's a good leader. So yeah.
All right. Well, are we going to get to the questions from the general populace? And in chat, if you've got questions, fire away with them. But Bromeo, Rhino, if you guys want to tackle other questions with Sweaty, go for it.
I don't have any extra questions other than what the public asked, and because there's some good ones. Stones is asked from Twitter, who do Pioneers scrim? Do they scrim outside SSA? Do they scrim inside the SSA bubble? This is more of a general question than a direct question, so feel free to answer it however you please.
Yeah, so this year or before this regional, we only scrimmed SSA teams. And funny enough, we actually had one of the APAC teams reach out to us for a scrim on MENA servers, but it was too close to the regional, so we didn't really feel comfortable with like changing the whole ping dynamic. So myself and David scrimming on high ping and then Lewis on low ping, we wanted to keep it the same for the regional. But I mean, that's definitely something we're open to. Like, I mean, it's one of the main ways you can improve is if you scrim, like, let's say an APAC team or a MENA team on MENA servers, because I get like 130 ping,
Fair enough.
which is what like Lewis gets to SSA. So
And sorry to cut you off there. And I just think this is an important question because one of the biggest gripes during this whole, import invasion thing was all of these teams coming in from the north. And the biggest gripe from local players is what we didn't get to scrim them. Given the fact that 2/3 is now the de facto in rule situation, and scrimming is now returned to normal things. Are you seeing the top teams scrimming against each other more often, or is everybody still out on their own doing their own thing?
well, I can only speak for ourselves,
Fair enough.
because I honestly only see us. But I mean, our main priorities are to scrim 5 years, and then like Cosmico, you're looking for org, uh, and then we also have like scrims where we'll scrim like maybe a top 16 team, because obviously in qualifiers you play those teams only, or in your top 16 matches. So you also need practice against them. So we definitely are scrimming like the lower, I wouldn't say lower, but like your main event teams. Not as often. But yeah, I can only really speak for ourselves. Yeah. I don't know.
That's fair. So
Right.
it's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a question mainly about the team makeup, because we've already talked about Luis P coming in, but during that, you kind of mentioned that yourself and To Die For already kind of knew that you were looking out for a third player who was going to be an import. I just want to ask mainly, was there initially going to be a search for someone who was in SSA already, or did you kind of look down the options, decide that wasn't the route you wanted to go down, and bring in an import? What was the thinking behind
that? I mean, we did think about getting a third SSA player, but I think we both kind of knew we were kind of set on an import, especially if it was like a high level import, because that would just help us improve so much just by playing with them and seeing what they do. That's so much better than us. And yeah, I think that's what other teams also decided, because I definitely think that getting yourself an EU third, especially like a Spanish third, because they have like the lowest ping from EU to SSA, will definitely help your team out for sure.
Well, it's certainly borne out by the fact that every top 16 team had, well, probably a Spanish import, but certainly an EU
Yeah.
player. So it's certainly borne out by that. So Unguarded Ace's question has been answered, because he asked you about the gap between the top four is closer or tighter, but you answered that at the outset. And then Galaxy asks, he says, what is the one thing you think separates your team, the Pioneers, from everyone else, and which makes you the best team currently? Is there a one thing, or what for you separates you guys?
I don't know about one thing. I think it's a multitude of small things. I think the fact that, because I do think we are better individually, but obviously Rocket League is a team game, so that doesn't really matter as much. So I think it helps that we are like, myself, David, and Lewis. We're actually like good friends, and Lola. We're not just like colleagues, I guess. So it definitely helps, like especially in moments where you're struggling, like yesterday. Like I think if you're not friends, you can't. I don't think like colleagues can bring it back like that. You have to be good friends, you know. And yeah, I mean, we take every scrum pretty serious as well. So I think the fact that we mostly locked in all the time, and we also worked like really hard before this first regional. Like we scrimmed a lot. So I think I'm not sure if other people were scrimming as much as us. Maybe they were, but yeah, definitely the grind helps.
And so then where to from here? Looking, so one open down, 5 more to go, 2 major spots and a world spot up for grabs. Do you 5 Fears came pretty close. I know Guns was pretty disappointed and not quite sure how he landed up on the losing end of things there. But do you see 5 Fears taking at least one of the remaining opens? Do you see it getting close contention for the major spots?
I mean, it's definitely possible. Like, I'm not gonna say that we're gonna go win everything. As much as I want to say that, it's just I don't think that's the case. Like, it's gonna be close, but I definitely think like we should be making every LAN this season. I think like if we don't make every LAN, then it's kind of a failure of a season. But I think they can win a regional. Like if you play better on the day, you're gonna win. It's as simple as that.
And do you see a dark horse team coming out of the blue and finding themselves in one of the grand finals? Like you mentioned Cosmico or maybe LFO or Death Cloud, if they, or do you think it's going to be a Five Fears Pioneers show all the way to the end?
I think towards the end of the season, Cosmico could do it for sure. Other than that, I don't know. I think it's mostly going to be teams fighting for top 4. Like that's going to be the main battle. But sure, there's also players that I think should be doing better. I'm gonna, sorry to do it, but I'm shout out my boy Nitro. Like I think he's definitely a top 8 level player, but he went out top 16. So I think if someone like picks him up, like if someone's not happy with the team, they could pick him up and it could be a good change. I don't know. I think towards the end of the season we could see some new finals like pairings for sure.
All right, cool. Well, gents, Bromeo, we're gonna let Sweaty go. But any final thoughts or questions before we let him get on with more important things in his life?
Not so much a question, just more of a statement. Just thanks so much for coming and chatting with us, because it's not very often you get to hear the perspectives for such a long period of time, other than a post-game interview, on what you guys actually think of Rocket League. Because most of the time, it's just us. It's myself and Greybeard and whoever's unlucky enough to come and spend an hour with us. And we debate the comings and goings of the region. So I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate you taking the time to come to talk to us, because it doesn't happen often enough.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And hopefully we'll get to do a lot more of it as we go with you and with other players. I know Jeff's in chat. We definitely want to get Jeff in here because we know he loves being in front of a camera and having a conversation. Yeah. So Sweaty, congratulations! You are a regional champion. Well done. Really looking forward to the 17th of January where we get to do it all over again. But yeah, it feels like there's a revival in SSA RLCS, and it's great to see you being a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right, mate. Be well. Cheers.
Cheers.